Again, this is a redundant section, but I just point everything out just to let y'all know, just in case you're missing some of the language. And then we're going to get into application in a little bit. So debt collector may not use unfair or unconscionable means to collect or attempt to collect any debt. So what does that mean? A debt collector may not use unfair means to collect or attempt to collect any debt. We're going to get into what unfair is, but just within the first sentence, we already have an idea that we're going to get a lot of violations in 1692F. And remember, when it's redundant, when you see something that's similar to previous sections, you can combine those violations. You're just getting more money for, what you're disputing. So keep that in mind. Without limiting the general application of the foregoing, the following conduct is a violation of this section. Number one, the collection of any amount. What does any amount mean? No restriction on the amount. So if you send me a letter that says this is an attempt to collect $1 from me, I just got a $999 return because I'm going to charge you $1,000, right? So the collection of any amount, unless such amount is expressly authorized by the agreement creating the debt or permitted by law. No, there's no law that says you have to pay a debt, so that's irrelevant. The collection of any amount, just stop right there. The collection of any amount. 15 USC, what section are we in? 15 USC 1692F, number one. We go back to the congressional findings. Congressional findings, what did Congress find? There was abusive practices as far as debt collection. We're in unfair practices. It's unfair to collect on any amount of debt because you are the consumer. United States went bankrupt in 1933. Look up the 1933 Act and you'll get more background information. So really just understand that that's a violation right there. That's already $1,000, right? That's the main one I want y'all to know here because a lot of this is redundant, but I like number one. And then I want to speak about repos, repossessions. Number 6. So anybody that has a repossession, if you're dealing with a repossession, look at 15 USC 1692 F number 6. So taking or threatening to take any non-judicial action. What does non-judicial action mean? A non-judicial action means it's not given by, judges. It's not given by the court to affect dispossession or disablement of property if A says there is no present right to possession of the property claim as collateral through an enforceable security interest. There's no present intention to take possession of property. The property is exempt by law from such a dispossession or disablement. So this basically, what the law is basically saying, 1692 F number 6, is basically saying that repos are technically illegal. They're not supposed to happen. So if a repossession happens, the court didn't order them to kidnap your property, right? So if you have a repossession, what you want to focus on as far as the FDCPA is 15 USC 1692 F number 6. So really pay attention over there. Look, number 7 is redundant as well. 1692 F number 7. Didn't we talk about communicating with a postcard earlier? $1,000, right? They don't really do postcards anymore, but look at number 8. Number 8 is going to be a violation for everybody. Using any language or symbol. Didn't we talk about that earlier? Any language. What's a language? This is an attempt to collect the debt. Okay, that's a violation. 15 USC 1692 F number 8. Pursuant to 1692K, I need $1,000. Symbol. Chase's symbol, Bank of America symbol. Why is it on this letter? I'm circling it. That's a violation of 15 USC 1692 F number 8. Pursuant to 1692K, that's a violation. So just really understand there's several violations. The FDCPA, out of the big three, if you don't know, is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, 1681, which I taught already. Truth in Lending Act, which is a 1601 and 1602 definition section. And then the FDCPA, 1692. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act is probably, in my opinion, where you should start if you haven't started studying consumer law. I think it's the easiest one to understand. And it's just several violations. And the fact that there are many violations, even if you miss some violations, there's so many violations, you're going to rack up a lot of money within your remedy. So yeah, just keep that in mind as you're going through it. Any questions? Any questions? Remember, we're just diving into the definitions. I've covered some of this stuff on a podcast, so a lot of this may be review if you listen to the podcast, but we're going to get deeper into the stuff that, I don't cover on the podcast. I only cover in consultations. Remember, consultations, 30-minute consultations are $350 currently. It's going to go up to $500 pretty soon, but currently they're $350. I think everybody in here used a 40% off code, so you got the class for $120. So you're saving a lot of money, you know, by taking action and being in a course class, whatever you want to call it.